Drift Masters European Championship. We are here at Bikaniki Trasa. It is round 4, it is Riga, baby, and one of my favorite events of the calendar. The weather is perfect, the track is fast, it's tricky. We had 63 drivers turn up this weekend. Yesterday, they eliminated half the field to bring us our top 32, which will be battling it out this afternoon.
Off the line we go, top 32 as a go here in Riga, through the gears and into that first corner.
There we go, Dave. What a way to kick it off with your current championship points leader, Vincek, right to the edge of the circuit. Hartmann goes wide into the wall. Hartmann trying to match that speed, that pace, and that is where everyone is saying it's getting dangerous, trying to keep up with this man on circuit right now, Peter Vincek. He is unbelievably fast, and you just see how quick you have to react and how quick you have to be to keep up with him.
Absolutely, and most drivers commenting that see a miracle, or will Vincek continue and get the job done and go through to the top 16. Here we go.
Look at this, Hartmann smoking tyres off the start line straight away, goes in. You see Vincek tuck the nose of that S15 in, Hartmann way off that outside line, that qualifying line the judges look for. Starts to put it together now though, makes his way down in front of the grandstand, transitions on outside zone 3. Vincek transitions before him, keeping his nose clean, keeping himself safe and out of danger. It's Vincek, Hartmann way on the inside, keeps it out of the wall and away from danger. Vincek tucks up on the inside and across the line.
And it is Peter Vincek getting the win and going through to the top 16. It's going to be David Karkošek to lead in Jurka through the gears and into that first corner. Watch the outside of this first corner for those wheels.
Yeah, look at this nice initiation from Janis Jurka in that chase. Look at that tucked up right on the inside. Janis Jurka knows what he needs to do, wants to get up close and personal to Karkošek. Oh, Karkošek, very shallow transition in outside zone 3, goes wide. He's going to turn it around and park it against the wall. Janis Jurka did an incredible job of avoiding danger.
Jurka saw it coming. He knew something was up when Karkošek went on big angle, and he actually backed off very cleverly to avoid the incident there. And obviously Karkošek had to give up on that, even though there's so much more scary things happening after it. Here we go. Karkošek's got to pull a wonder move off here against Jurka.
Yeah, he certainly has. Jurka though dialed in. Look at this, absolutely focused on that qualifying line. He goes over though, goes over that white line. We see it with our own 2 eyes. He's now going to come up short on the inside, and you can see Karkošek having to make avoiding action, puts a wheel up on the curve. Jurka gets himself back on that qualifying line, and this one, I don't think the tail is over just yet as Karkošek pushes up on the inside, pushes up nice and close to Jurka across the line.
Results are in, and he did. Janis Jurka goes through to the top 16. And Zalewski, one of the most confident young men from Poland ever to step behind the wheel of a car. Let's see if we can get the job done here.
He's going to have to try and get the job done as Heinen in that chase position. Look at this, tucks up behind, goes for an inside line, trying to gain that proximity, trying to shortcut the circuit. Not what the judge is going to be looking for. And Heinen finds himself in a weird place. And Zalewski goes nice and deep into outside zone 3, fires back across Heinen now, starting to find that lost ground. Dangerous transition from Lauri Heinen. They get up into the wall as Zalewski dials himself into that final outside zone. Up on the wall they go. Heinen on the door.
Heinen's car sounds incredible. Dodge V8 NASCAR engine revving up over 9k. Sounds great, but he's got to drive it great here as Zalewski dives in the chase position. Zalewski, very shallow angle from Zalewski through the first corner. Trying to stay with the proximity here. And he's right with him. Heinen firing out to that outer zone, and Zalewski doing a good job of being right on the back bumper. Look at this from Zalewski, toying with that lead car as he makes a late transition. A little bit of contact between the 2 cars, I think, on transition. Late transition from Heinen. Zalewski deals with it as they come across the line. Nice chase work from Adam Zalewski. It's going to be Adam Zalewski. Adam Zalewski gets the win.
Dwayne McKeever to take on Ivo Sarulis, but no McKeever in that lead position. We found out late last night that after his second qualifying run, unfortunately lost the engine in that car, Dave.
However, Ivo Sarulis in this new build struggled up, gets to do a free buy run. He would have been a very tough battle against McKeever, but he gets a buy run into the top 16, and you know what? I think he would have given McKeever a very good run here. He is going very well in this new GT86. Very confident through the course.
Yeah, he certainly is, Dave. Ivo Sarulis looking very comfortable. Look at this. Every single pass of the circuit now he's going to get. He's just going to feel more and more confident. Getting that buy run, getting that top 32 out of the way. Mikolai brings a lot to the table. We see him last year here do some phenomenal things. He made his way through the top 32 into the top 16, started to do some damage. Can he do the same this year? Well, he's got to get through Bertans right now. Nicolas Bertans right to the edge of the circuit, goes super wide, but look at Zakruski onto the back bumper he goes. Starts to get himself shortcut up on the inside, almost gets the front end of that Toyota Sora cut off as they transition down in front of the grandstand. They look for the wall. Zakruski gets himself caught up once again as Bertans gets into the wall, into the outside zone. Zakruski now starts to find the side of that BMW across the line. Lost the car into gear, they get the green light, they are go. As Bertans got pace though, as that Toyota Sora comes up on power, screams down, big initiation from both of them. Look at Bertans, tucks up on the inside handbraking to slow the car down. He's got the pace, he transitions. Wow, incredible stuff from Nicolas Bertans. They come in front and centre of the grandstand, transition back, a little separation as Bertans fires on the angle, looks for the transition back. Zakruski out of the outside zone, handbrakes once again to dial the car in. Up onto the wall goes Zakruski, but Bertans cannot be lost.
Nicolas Bertans gets the win.
Edgars Kageris took that car to the wall and said he was feeling a little bit rough, but Nodu Kodua, he won't care. Oh, wow! Nodu Kodua absolutely dialed in. What a beast mood on the initiation from Nodu Kodua. Edgars Kageris not on that qualifying line, way off as Nodu Kodua almost overtakes him. Edgars goes wide now, fires in, he's way off that qualifying line, and Nodu Kodua doing an incredible job to chase him down. Must be incredibly hard to get up close and personal with a car off the qualifying line.
Wow. He's got the car, but is the car working 100%? But he's giving it a good go. He's coming off the start line very, very fast, trying to replicate and quite close on initiation.
Yeah, he's gone for a big run up on the initiation, but it hasn't worked. Kodua way faster. Kodua sticks it to the white line, transitions back, and you see Kageris now on the inside edge of the circuit, made a big mistake on that transition. Kodua looking very comfortable on a nice qualifying line. You can see Kageris making a whole host of errors in the background, trying to find the side of that green BMW 1 Series as Kodua puts it to the wall. That is a guy who you don't want to take your eyes off today. He's on form.
And it is indeed Nodu Kodua who gets the win and goes through to the top 16. Here we go.
No, he has to be right on the back bumper, David. He's going to go for the back bumper, but Shanahan wants the championship. He's not fazed by the Welshman at the moment. Shanahan, unbelievable speed, 135 kilometres an hour on the initiation. And look at this. Starting to lose ground is Oliver Evans as Shanahan applies the pressure, applies the power, comes down into outside zone 4. Incredible. Evans starts to shortcut the circuit. You can see him on the inside looking for the door of that GT86, but he just can't get there as Shanahan sticks it to the wall.
That car was pretty banged up, and it's back out here in top 32. He's in the lead position. He's got to try and pull a rabbit out of the hat here as Conor Shanahan comes in hungry for a close chase run.
Yeah, look at this. Shanahan goes for it right up onto this back bumper. He goes on initiation, but Evans now starting to lose a little bit of ground to Shanahan as Shanahan reels him in front of the grandstand. This is where Shanahan makes the dive, and he does it perfectly as Shanahan now positions himself for the kill as he comes down into that final outside zone. Shanahan is playing with Evans as he now works his way into the crease. Up onto the door he goes.
And indeed he does. Conor Shanahan gets the win as they come through the gears. This is going to be a tough one on both drivers.
It certainly is, David. This means a lot for Benediktas Čurba right now. He's sitting 10th in the championship, wants to climb higher, and he starts to pull away. Jaroslav Treš doesn't have an answer at the moment for the pace and the grip in that E92 BMW of the Lithuanians as he fires across the circuit. Treš makes an early transition. Now he's scraping across the circuit, goes for a dive, gets it wrong, backs the car in, finds himself on the inside of the circuit as Benediktas Čurba is textbook. The chicane, he does get it done this time. Very slow, and you can see Čurba holding back now, goes for the back bumper as Čurba looks in. Early initiation from Jaroslav Treš as he gets nice and deep in the outside zone. Did he go too deep? Čurba though, all over the back end of that A90 Supra, door to door as they come through past in front of the grandstand. Čurba goes for a brave transition. Čurba does not want to go down easy in this one. He wants to get it. Čurba! Oh! Čurba over-rotates and throws himself into a spin.
I cannot believe what I'm watching. I cannot believe what I'm watching because I'm sure the judges will decipher this. And it's Jaroslav Treš getting the win and going through. He's got the car, the mentality, and the experience to cause a big upset here. Shanahan's going to have to be careful.
He certainly is going to have to be careful because look at this, Zacharyl already hunting him down as they fire in. Shanahan snaps that car to angle, but Zacharil's already there. Zacharyl goes for the big angle, he goes for an early transition, but he messes it up, gets up on the curb and he allows Shanahan to drive away. Oh, and Zacharyl gets himself in the gravel and spins the car in front of the grandstand, as Shanahan now will complete the run, and Zacharyl knew he had to push 210%.
And to lead in Shannon's second half of this battle, Shannon's got to play a little bit of careful here. Zacharyl's got to go big.
Yeah, he has. Look at this. Zacharyl's going to play it very big. He's going to go for it. Zacharyl's going to try and put in a 100-point run. Shanahan's going to play it safe. Zacharyl, once again on the inside curve, finds himself in danger. As Shanahan backs away, gives him the room to manoeuvre. Shanahan now playing with him as he lets Zacharyl get into the outside zone. Shanahan being very, very clever. Now going to work that GT86 up into the door of the 2 Series and across the line.
Jack Shanahan goes through. As Juha Rintanen will be in the chase position. Rintanen, a lot of experience on this track. He's going to have to use it here in the chase position as they fire through the gears, and a weird initiation from Michael Ryer. Very late, very wide, and 2 wheels over, it looked like for me. Yeah, that was very wild from Juha Rintanen and Mikkel Reihart. Reihart, though, led Juha Rintanen off the circuit on that initiation. You could see Juha Rintanen holding back. Mikkel Reihart now gets himself into that final outside zone, finds the wall. Rintanen gets himself dialed in, sticks it to the door, doesn't want to leave any questions unanswered by the judges. An error can be exaggerated very quickly if you go off the track.
It certainly can. Well, Juha Rintanen now leads out Mikkel Reihart. Second half of the run coming up, and Rintanen will want to lay down a perfect lead line. Nicely done this time. Look at Mikkel Reihart, though, right on the inside. He's going to go wide, drops a wheel off the track, and I think Mikkel Reihart has just sealed his own fate here at round 4 in Latvia. As Juha Rintanen goes nice and wide in outside zone 4, fires into that final outside zone, hooks the car up, gets on the throttle, dials in on the angle, puts the car to the wall, or contact with Reihart before they cross the line.
It looks like it's going to be a one more time. Reihart in the lead, Rintanen in the chase. Let's get into that first corner, boys. Clean and on power. Reihart, late initiation, gets it right though. Drops out of that inner zone though, a little shallow. As Rintanen now has to brake, but he straightens the car up. Mistake from Rintanen. He's in no man's land here, diving through the course, got caught in the smoke. Got to be a little careful here, got to get onto that wall. Reihart does a good job in the lead position. Rintanen in a little bit of no man's land here, trying to catch up. And Rintanen's car very fast as well as they come across the line. Going through this course, nothing in his way. He goes as fast as he wants. One of these guys running closer, near enough 1,000 horsepower as they throw into the first corner. Rintanen, nice line from Rintanen, staying wide on that outer zone. Reihart quite shallow in the chase. Reihart getting a little bit caught on the inside. Still in the fight though as Rintanen misses that outer zone. The transition back. Oh, Reihart's going way too fast. He's off the track, firing through. I think he might have deviated a tyre there as Rintanen fires to the outside zone. Oh, and Rintanen's in the wall. Reihart's in the wall. That was a crazy run. And it's going to be Juha Rintanen going through to the top 16. Diogo Correa's back in the fight against James the Machine Dean here in the top 32. Dean coming off. I can't believe Diogo's car would be 100% here, but Dean fires into that first corner right on the outside line. Correa's car not performing here as James Dean fires through the centre course. Looking very comfortable here, James Dean in the lead position. Looks like that car is now working 100%. Loses the back bumper and Correa pinballs it into the sky. Never seen anything quite like it. Dean loses the bumper on the curb. Correa absolutely field goals it up into the air.
And he said, I don't want to
damage James Dean's car. What a legend.
He's a hero. He should be given an honorary badge when he leaves here, when he goes back to Portugal. They should crown him.
I'm going to give him an honorary pint at the after party, I'd say. That's that.
Well,
James Dean though,
just look how comfortable he looks.
He looks good. Oh, he's really flirting with that curb out there. Look at the steering input he's got to do in the transition. It's just amazing.
He's looking good, Dave. Gotta say it right now, he's looking very, very good.
And I think right now, don't get me wrong, still in the championship hunt here is James Dean, and he will get the win here and go to the top 16. You've got to go through each other, and a top 32 exit farther is going to stop that growth.
Well, it certainly is, and Joachim Andersen now leads out Jakob Kroll for a spot in the top 16. Both guys will want it. Oh, look at that initiation from Joachim Andersen. He does drop out the outside zone, gets back into it once again. Kroll goes for an early transition. It didn't pay off, but Andersen on that wrong line. as he completely misses outside zone 3, comes down, fires the car on angle. Now Jakob Kroll goes for a dangerous transition, flicks the back bumper towards Joachim Andersen's Nissan as they get into the outside zone and across the line.
These guys, you know, not as experienced, so taking some time to get through the moves. And here we go. Kroll with all the disadvantage right now, but anything can happen. Andersen coming in hot.
Yeah, it certainly is. It looks like Jakob Kroll's car working 100%, but look at Joachim Andersen right on the door. Unbelievable chase so far from Joachim Andersen, but he finds himself up on the curb. He takes the cone out. He takes the front bumper off the car. Oh, Kroll goes super wide. Andersen stays with him. They both transition. Body panels flying everywhere as Kroll falls out of the outside zone and hits Andersen.
I think Kroll is at fault there. He transitions up on the curbs, and there he goes, gets the win. The Swedish driver Joachim Andersen gets the win and goes through. Oren Nielsen's got all of the tools at his disposal. False start. Not a false start. Oren Nielsen throws into that first corner.
Yeah, Oren Nielsen going to go for it, but look at this from Oliver Randalou. He's got that experience in that chase. Oh, Randalou with a very brave transition, but he's put himself on a wrong line as Oren Nielsen now has that qualifying line. Oren Nielsen gets to the outside zone, transitions back. Randalou knows he can trust him as they come into that final outside zone. Randalou finds himself in the groove, up into the door as Oren Nielsen takes the back end off the car.
Oren Nielsen's creeping away.
Nielsen knows that Randalou's fast. He needs to keep the pace, and look at this, Oren Nielsen matching the pace. Needs to tuck in on the back bumper. Waits for Randalou to flick the car across the circuit. Now Oren Nielsen starts to find himself up onto the door. They transition cleaner from Oren Nielsen. A very nice lead, but he's too far on the inside. He manages to make it out to outside zone 3, but Oliver Randalou fires big angle at it. Oren Nielsen holds on and waits for the transition. Makes the dive. Both guys waiting to get into outside zone 5 as they get up onto the wall. Oren Nielsen right with him.
Interesting. And it's Oren Nielsen getting the win and going through to the top 16.
He's got a little bit of a different mindset. He's on another form. Again, I think that Scandinavian, that blood coming through, I think he's going to find that form. And look at this from Pushkonski, goes a wheel over. Keski-Korpi deals with it as he fires onto the back bumper. He transitions too early, finds himself on the inside as Jakob Pushkonski now comes down in front of the grandstand, transitions back. Keski-Korpi gives him the room to manoeuvre. Korpi deeper in the outside zone as he fires into that final outside zone. Jakob Pushkonski waits to get in there, waits to get onto the wall as Korpi beats the back of that BMW Touring off the wall. He's going to give it 110% here. Pushkonski though comes with that experience, comes with that heat, Dave. He knows what he needs to do. Looks for the back bumper, waits for Keski-Korpi to initiate. Keski-Korpi shallow, falls out of the outside zone, gets himself back into it. It's a nicer lead from Keski-Korpi. Look at the angle he's carrying now. Down in front of the grandstand, he's deeper on outside zone 3. Oh, Pushkonski way out of position. Finds himself on the outside. Now he's going to be way messed up. Keski-Korpi waits to get into that final outside zone and the car shuts down and puts him into the wall.
You can't take your eyes off it. Yeah, it's going to be an obvious one. Jakob Pushkonski gets a little bit of fortune there in the top 32, goes through to the top 16. Through the gears they go. Two more battles left in the top 32. Kavia and Jarkovic into that first corner.
Yeah, look at this. Kavia already up and gone. Starts to pile on the pace, starts to pile on the power as Jarkovic is nowhere to be found on the inside of the circuit. Kavia absolutely on fire as he fires down in front of the grandstand. And you can't even see Jarkovic for the smoke as Kavia makes a small wobble coming into outside zone 4. Kavia in, up on the wall, in the outside zone and gone as Jarkovic struggles to keep that car going and shuts it down on the inside edge. We lost Makiva. Now, if he makes it into the top 16, I think we'll see Kavia jump ahead of him in the championship. Things are going to get hairy at the top as we move forward into Germany. And now we see Maciej Jarkovic firing in. That S14, Kavia right on the door as they transition down the hill. They come, Kavia playing it safe, being very careful. They go super wide in outside zone 3. They fire back. Now Jarkovic finding the form. Oh, hits the curb, takes the car off track, and Kavia says, easy one. Job done, top 16, here I come.
I was actually worried for Jarkovic there where he was going to end up because he went and completely went the wrong direction to that corner. Going through to the top 16 will be Tor Arne Kavia. Could be the decider. Hampa in the chase in this big old E-Class Mercedes with a ton of horsepower chasing in Korpelinski in this S14.
Yeah, Korpelinski looking stronger and stronger round on round, but look at Henry Hampa. Oh, big accident as Hampa hits Korpelinski on initiation, takes the back end off that S14 and Korpelinski unfazed, keeps himself in it, wants to fulfill the run, and you can see tail lights and bumper and body panels hanging everywhere. Is there a problem with Korpelinski's car? As Korpelinski goes for that transition, didn't look like the car wanted to react.
Contact was not that hard, but it was wheel to wheel, which is every time like big contact. It debeated the tire of Hampa, but he's having 10 minutes to repair it.
They are desperately. Oh, there we go. It's popped out. It's enough. Can he get off the line? He needs to get out of that paddock right now and get back to the start line where he got a kitchen sink from, Dave, because that car's got no boot space left in it. Here we go. Off the line they go, screaming through the gears. Henry Hamper leads in. Pavel Korpelinski. Korpelinski goes for a big dive up to the back bumper. Holds off. Hamper on the inside. Can't get to that first outside zone. Up onto the curb. Goes Henry Hamper now as he transitions in front of the grandstand. Oh, Korpelinski is going for it. He is absolutely using everything he can to try and take down Henry Hamper, but Henry Hamper fails to get to that final outside zone. Up to the wall and across the line they go.
And it's a split decision, but it is going to be Henry Hamper going through to our top 32.
Here we go, off the line, the light goes green. Vinsek to lead out Janis Jurka. This is for a spot in the Grade 8, and Janis Jurka not messing around. Jumps onto the back bumper, looks for the side of that S15 and finds it. Janis Jurka no messing around. Shortcuts the circuit, but he can do in that chase. Now starts to get left behind in the smoke as Janis Jurka goes for an early initiation. And look at this, Peter Vinsek, absolutely wild, lock to lock on the transition into that final outside zone, smokes up the screen, smokes out Janis Jurka and says, that, my young man, is how you do it.
Vinsek has to go close here, has to take a risk to take home the win and go to the Grade 8. Here we go, through the gears, up to 120 km/h plus, into that first corner they go. Look at this, Vinsek, right on the back bumper. Jurka drops out of that outer zone. Poor lead line so far, very poor lead line from Jurka, but Vinsek is dealing with it as Jurka misses all of the zones, and Vinsek still stays with a big angle thrown in from Jurka. He's going to struggle here, gets back to the wall. Vinsek backs off a little bit, then watch him creep back up to the door and say, top 8, get my tyres and fuel ready. Peter Vinssek's going to that top 8 and his championship continues. Here we go, Zalewski's off the line, Cerulis is off the line. Into the first corner they go. Zalewski out on the edge of that outer zone. Nice control from Zalewski, but look at this, Cerulis coming through the center section, cutting the course, but the pace of Zalewski, tough to manage for Cerulis right now. Cerulis takes a late transition, it's not helping his chances, got to make a big dive, doesn't get there, and look at Zalewski gets punted into the wall, too little too late for Cerulis, made the big dive, had to do something to get back into the battle, but did a little too much.
He caused the incident, he doesn't get any time to fix his car, he's not allowed to put hands on the car, that is the rules here at the Drift Masters European Championship, so he hasn't made his way to the line. Zalewski gets a bye run, gets himself in the Grade 8.
Oh, big name in the top 8 here. Zalewski, I think it would have been a big task for Ivo Cerulis to overturn that anyway. It definitely was an incomplete from Cerulis, so I think this was going to be the results more or less. Unfortunately for Cerulis, car damaged by himself. And it looks to me like Adam Zalewski is taking this bye run to push the limits a little bit on the track, just to make sure he's dialed in and also make sure the car is 100%, because that was a big hit he took.
Yeah, he's going to feel out, make sure.
Because he has no opponent. He's going to take the win here and go through to the top 8. Let's see which way it swings as it goes into that first corner, upwards of 130 km/h on the handbrake. It will be Burton, Salida and Kodua. Look at Kodua's entry here. Kodua's coming for him.
Kodua is absolutely pinned. He's deeper into the outside zone than what Bertans was. And look at Kodua. He's all the way up on the inside. He's deep up onto the door. He transitions back. Oh, he makes a mistake on the transition. He finds himself on the inside edge of the circuit. He's made a hash of that transition. Gets himself back into the mix now as Bertans dials on the angle. Kodua puts it to the door across the line. I think he is. I think that is exactly what I was just going to say. I think Kodua's going to go through the gears, keep the foot absolutely pinned. And here he goes. You can hear that supercharger screaming as he hammers the throttle through the floor. Handbrakes in the outside zone. Doesn't upset Bertans. Bertans though still there, still with him now as they come down in front of the grandstand. A little bit of ground put between the two of them as Bertans comes through the smoke, fires up onto the rear bumper, makes a dangerous transition as Nicholas Bertans holds on to this one, sticks the nose of the E36 BMW onto the door of Kodua's car.
Big risk from Bertans, it paid off. If Nicholas Bertans might prevail here, and that's exactly what happens as he goes through. Here we go.
Here we go, through the gate, through the chicane goes Conor Shanahan, leading out Yaroslav Tresh. It's Ukraine trying to take down Poland at the moment. Yaroslav Tresh not scared, and Conor Shanahan goes for the attack down on outside zone 1. Incredible transition from Tresh. Tresh goes wide, he's going to get deep on outside zone 3, but he makes it work. Shanahan puts some ground between him and the Ukrainian now as they fire in. Yaroslav Tresh needs to get himself back into the groove as Tresh finds himself planted on the door of the 86 across the line.
He's also a round winner here. Shannon's going to go in aggressive here. He doesn't have to be too aggressive, but try to tell him that to an 18-year-old. He's going to throw us in a big, weird initiation for both drivers, but they make it work. Shannon falling a little bit behind here as Yaroslav Tresh has wound that Supra up with incredible grip. Shannon right there. Now this is where a lot of drivers making mistakes. No such mistakes from Shannon as he stays in the fight. Can he get back up onto the door of that Toyota Supra? Big angle, but dropping out of the zone for Yaroslav Tresh as he does get back to the wall towards the end. Oh, a big hit from Tresh to the wall and Tresh back into Shanahan. There you have it, Conor Shanahan getting the win.
Through the chicane goes Shanahan, through the gears goes Ritten, and down they come, looking for a big initiation. Rittenen's right there, but a little bit of ground separates them as now Shanahan starts to pull away, falls out of outside zone 1. Rittenen looks to shortcut the circuit, he cuts through, goes wide, drops wheels off the outside edge of the circuit, puts the car into a spin, but Shanahan doesn't look too rock steady either, Dave. Both of the drivers looking a little shaken, a little stirred. This one, are we starting to see the drivers start to fall apart? Well, here we go. We've got the slow-mo from the Phantom. It's debeaded.
Yeah.
It's off. If Rittenen's car is still 4 tyres on, able to compete, Rittenen might have just taken out Shanahan, the second-place championship fighter. And Shanahan won't have even known that Rittenen threw it away behind him.
No, and I think Shanahan in the car will think he's thrown it away anyway.
Well, I mean, he's going to do a full run because there's nothing wrong with the car. All he did was put the rear wheels in the gravel, saved it from the tyre wall.
And if I was to bet on anyone to do an initiation at this point, I think it'd be Juha Rinta, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid.
Dave's got 1,000 Finnish fans in the grandstand. He's going to go out there and put on a smoke show.
They are about to erupt when he comes in front of them here because he's just got himself into the top 8.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when you just think that things are going to get easy and things are going to be normal, Juha Rintanen out of nowhere with the stroke of luck takes Jack Shanahan out of competition. Could that be the stroke of luck that Rintanen has needed for the last 3 years? He's been at the Drift Masters European Championship. Juha Rintanen gets the win, moves through to the Grade 8.
So did Joachim Andersen. He relishes the chance of going up against. He's taking a big run at James Dean here into the first corner. Dean loosens the car early, gets to that outer zone. Look at Andersen, he's on the inside of the track. Has 2 wheels on the inside. I think he's zeroed it out there, Andersen, by going too shallow. James Dean, no such problems as he fires through the second half of the course. Dean flirting with the curb. Andersen's over the curb, and he hits the back of Dean's car. Andersen runs into Dean. It looked, at least to me, that he did. And Dean, no such issues there.
Joachim Andersen comes off the line through the chicane, leads out James Dean for a spot in the Grade 8, awaits for one of these guys, and look at Dean, he's angry, he wants it, he's hungry for it. Joachim Andersen goes for a wide initiation, shallows up the angle, now gets himself back in the mix. James Dean deals with Andersen being offline, up onto the inside. Andersen goes onto the curb, a late transition from Andersen, struggles to get himself back on that qualifying line, and Dean once again handling this terrible lead line from Joachim Andersen as Joachim Andersen feels the pressure of James Dean. There we go, Dean gets the win, advances through.
Nielsen from Norway will lead in Puszczonski from Poland. Another huge top 16 battle.
Yeah, look at this. Oran Nielsen wants it. He's hungry for it. He wants to taste the top step of the podium. And look at this from Puszczonski, though. No messing around. Transitions through the smoke, but Puszczonski's going to be on the inside. He has to brake, slow the car down. Now finds himself lost in the smoke, gets himself back into it. But Oran Nielsen absolutely flying. Oh! Puszczonski gets the wall, upsets himself, stalls up, straightens, has to reinitiate as Oran Nielsen puts on a masterclass. When you got Oran Nielsen chasing you, is that a thing?
Oran Nielsen is so heavy on the throttle, he's got to back off a little bit at times. Here we go into the first corner. We go. Puszczonski goes wide. Oran Nielsen backing away a little bit here, being clever, staying outside of that zone. Puszczonski got a good lead run here as they come through the centre section of the course, collecting those outer zones. Oran Nielsen not pushing too hard here. He's keeping it neat and tidy as they come towards the wall. Oran Nielsen transitions very late, keeps himself in the fight though, and now tries to climb up onto the door of Joachim Puszczonski. Hits the wall and gets across the line. I think that might be job done for Oran Nielsen there. And Oran Nielsen gets the win. He's going to the top 8. Here we go.
Through the gears, they go down. Henry Hamper looks down, sees that pink Nissan 200SX initiator, knows it could be a demand to beat, but look at Kvyat, he's up and gone. Oh, Henry Hamper understeers off into the gravel. Kvyat keeps that car absolutely glued to the track. The throttle planted through the floor. The spoiler takes a beating off the wall as Kvyat gets up close and personal to the final outside zone and across the line. But this is Torani Kvyat. He always does too much.
Well, let's hope too much is enough this weekend as they go into that first corner. Hampa with a very, very early transition. Oh, he's going to get to the edge of the circle and drop off. Pushes Kvyat on the inside of the corner. Kvyat handles it, but it's a bad line so far from Hampa. He's really on the wrong side of the course right now. As Kvyat has to avoid Hampa through the first section of the course. Does a good job of it though. Hampa's car has not looked right since that hit on the top 32. Something very wrong on the back end of that car. It's not the Henry Hampa we've been used to seeing, and Kvyat doing a great job of dealing with those issues. It's Tor Arne Kvyat. Kvyat gets the win, goes to the top 8.
Here we go, Dave. This is it. This is a big one already to kick off the Great 8. Zalewski fires in on the back end of Vincek's S15. They both go wild angle. The transition from Zalewski dangerous. Now starts to lose ground as Vincek goes way quick through past the grandstand. He goes absolutely hammering. Zalewski hits the curve. Over he goes. Now loses the momentum as Vincek gets into that final outside zone. On the throttle, across the line. Job done.
I'd say he won't want to repeat that here.
I don't think he will. I think he's learned that mistake before. Now he has to chase down Zalewski, who's already wounded. He knows Zalewski, what he's got in the tank, as Zalewski goes absolutely pinpoint perfect through the first two outer zones. Zalewski now starts to put some ground between him and Vincek. Vincek through the smoke, looks for the back bumper of that yellow GT86 as they transition to the wall. Zalewski gets there. Vincek does enough. Vincek keeps himself clean and out of danger as he gets on the door.
Just a little tap on the door of Zalewski's car over the finish line to say, and it is Peter Viansek going through to the top 4. And he's going to relish this challenge. Shanahan, the lower qualifier, got to chase first.
He has got to chase first, and he's got to take down a big name, a big local name. Now, as look at this, Bertans flicks that car from left to right, fires in, keeps it dialed. Shanahan on the door though. Shanahan goes for a brake transition. He's on the foot brake, he's got more pace, he shallows up the angle as they transition in front of the grandstand. Bertans goes deep. Look at Shanahan looking for the early transition, trying to get back on the door. Shanahan absolutely ruling him, absolutely clinical on the chase across the line.
That is a phenomenal, the clean run. You've got to be phenomenal.
You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to feel like this is going to be a huge crash. That's where they're going to need to go to. Bertans on the back bumper of that GT86 as they fire down that first outside zone. Bertans starts to creep up the inside, flirting with danger as he puts the front end of that BMW in a place where it shouldn't be. Shanahan goes wide in front of the grandstand. Bertans shallows it up. Shanahan fires it on angle over the curb. Bertans almost takes the front end off now as he slows the car down, gets up onto the door, works his way into the crease as they go to the wall across the line.
Wow, and the grandstand is on their feet. We're going to see which way the judges are going. It's a one more time.
They're off the line. They've got the green light. It's good to go. Bertans to lead out Shanahan. They've already felt each other out once. Now it's time to get down to business. Wow, big initiation from Nicholas Bertans. He's deeper in that zone, but look at Shanahan up on the inside. Shanahan now works his way back up onto the opposite door as they come down in front of the grandstand. Shanahan transitions before him. Oh, both guys jump the curb. Both cars, oh, and Bertans takes a big hit.
He's broken something. He's definitely broken something in that car. You can see the back wheel, a wheel or a wobble. Straight away when he went on the power, something didn't go right.
I think you're right, Dave. I think they have. I think they've turned the car up to find out what it's going to be like. Well, here we go. Connor Shanahan is going to fulfill his buy run. Fires that car down into the outside zone, wanders away. Look at him flickering at the brake lights as he's on and off that brake pedal. And I think you're right, Dave. Car looks very quick and he's driving it in a manner where he's trying to build speed to try and pull away from a certain somebody.
I'm not going to name names, but it's Peter Viansek.
Yeah, definitely Peter Viansek.
It looks a lot faster than it did earlier
and he's
on.
Shallowed up the angle. He's gone for a very grippy run there. He's trying to build up the speed. I wonder if the spotters are timing him. This has now become a thing in drifting, timing.
Connor Shanahan gets the win. That's a big result for him. So this is going to be interesting as they come off the line.
It certainly is, Dave. They're matched in power, they're matched in car, are they matched in grip, are they matched in pace? Well, they've both got the same amount of talent. Dean fires in nice and early. Juha Rittinen goes for a late initiation, loses a little bit of ground to James Dean. He transitions way too early. Rittenen's up on the grass, up on the curb, he loses miles of ground as James Dean fires that car across the circuit. Now looks for the final outside zone. Rittinen once again lost in the smoke, transitions offline. Now starts to find the side of James Dean's S15, but it's a big mess from Rittinen.
Yeah, Rittenen's going to test that anyway as he comes through the gears into that first corner. Dean with the advantage, but keep your eyes on this one.
This one's going to be hot and heavy. Look at this, Juha Rittinen absolutely laser focused, straight line initiation. Rittinen gets himself into that outside zone. Nice job, Dean in the chase. Oh, Dean dips the front bumper up onto the door. Dean not messing around now as he transitions through the smoke. Juha Rittinen goes for that perfect wide line. Dean transitions before him, looks for the door. Dean out of the zone, but he can be. Oh, Dean wavers as Juha Rittinen dials a big angle on the wall.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Dean has more than that. He's got a spot in the top 4. He's through.
Well, I mean, look, if Nielsen takes down Kvyat now, he just took down a man who was on the podium at the last round. Here we go, through the gears, down through the chicane they come. Nielsen leads into Oranje Kvyat. Nielsen goes for a little flick across the track. Nice initiation. Kvyat, though, you couldn't even see the car. He was on that much angle on the inside as Kvyat dangerously transitions up onto the side of Oranje Nielsen's Toyota Sora. They come through past the grandstand. Kvyat is on a flyer. Nielsen and Kvyat go wide. Kvyat almost takes the back end of the Sora. They both get into the final outside zone. Kvyat's glued to his fellow Norwegian's door.
Take it down, pull the cameras out. It's done. Kvyat, Nielsen, and Nielsen's coming off the line way ahead of Kvyat here. He wants it.
Yeah, he wants it. He knows he needs to run in. He knows Kvyat's fast. Here they go down. Look at this. Oh, both guys wandering and wavering across the track. Nielsen now goes for it. Nielsen's on the door. Nielsen's repaying the favour. He transitions before Kvyat. Kvyat is on an absolute flyer of a lead line. They transition back, but Nielsen's still there. They both waver down on the outside zone. Oh, wow! Nielsen is there with him. Can Nielsen get back on the door as Nielsen goes onto the door? Kvyat is on the wall.
And it's a one more time.
God.
Off the line they go. Who's going to the top 4? Nielsen to lead, Kvyat to follow. Hold on to your hats.
Kvyat's closer than he was before on initiation. The window flexes out Kvyat's car as he gets that much speed down that initiation. Look at Nielsen. Oh, Kvyat closer than he was. Oh, Kvyat has a bubble though. A little wobble down there after that inside zone. They come into outside zone 4. They transition back. Kvyat goes for it. Once again, he's on the door. He rubs Nielsen.
Did Nielsen shut down or did Kvyat hit him? I'm not sure what happened there.
Right, I'm hearing in my ear that Nielsen looks like he's DB'd before he got to the wall.
So he had no power. So Nielsen taking a big run up at Kvyat. He wants him on that first corner, right on the quarter panel. Can he get there? He definitely can get there. Look at Oranje Nielsen.
Oranje Nielsen not messing around. Oh, he starts to drop away a little bit, not feeling too comfortable. Doesn't want to cause any damage if he knows that Kvyat's in the fight. He wants to stay clear of it and he wants the best chance for Kvyat. Kvyat hops that car across the track, dials it back in now. Nielsen gets himself back in the fight. Kvyat up onto the wall. And once again, Oranje Nielsen's car shuts down. Kvyat drives away and Kvyat says a one more final 4.
But it is the result he wanted as he goes through to the top 4. Tor Arne Kvyat.
Creeping off the line. Vincek comes through the chicane. Shanahan already ahead of him. They come down door to door, side by side. Shanahan jumps across the track. Down he goes, looking for Vincek. Vincek can't get away. Shanahan's with him. Shanahan goes for a snappy transition. Looks for Vincek. Vincek starts to put some ground between him and the Irishman. They transition in front of the grandstand and Shanahan now needs to claw back some ground. He stalls up on the transition, looks for the door. Vincek's S15. Vincek on the wall across the line.
If he wants to get to that final, Vincek's going to have to put it on the door. He's got the pace to do it. He's got the talent to do it. But has he got the resolve to do it?
Well, he needs to. He needs to put everything he's got out of it. Look at this. Shanahan flicks the car across the circuit. Vincek's with him, though, on the foot brake. Vincek closer than anyone. Wobbles and wavers as Connor Shanahan gets himself deep in the zone. Vincek's glued to the side of that GT86. They transition back. Vincek with a weird line as they come to the outside zone. Vincek loses some ground on the transition. Shanahan gets himself up to the wall, tags the wall on the foot brake. Vincek's on the back bumper across the line.
That's a close one. That's a close one. It's going to be Peter Vincek. He gets the call.
The They're off the line. Dean to chase down Kavir. Dean in the chase position for the first half of the run. Kavir through the gears, absolutely screaming, flicks the car, puts the wheel, the tarmac drives away from Dean. Kavir. Kavir's over the edge of the circuit. Dean wobbles and wavers as Kavir now starts to pull away once again. Kavir fires the car across the track to outside zone 4. Looks back once again. Dean with him though. Dean now finds himself in the groove. Looks for the door. That S13 as Dean parks the wheel on there. They bang across the line.
That is almost borderline bullying there at the end.
Damage the rear wheel.
Watch Kavir. Watch the rear wheels. Does he go 2 wheels off here? He's very wide. Watch the other side. Watch that outer white line.
Oh, God.
Now watch, does he debeat here? No. Now that's tough for Dean to deal with because it's a very early transition for Dean because Kavir's in the wrong place. Watch
That's
this.
2 wheels. That's 2 wheels. That's 2 wheels.
He's 2 wheels off there, right?
That's 2 wheels. That's definitely 2 wheels off track.
But the big question then is Kavir debeats a tyre. Does he debeat
I don't think he debeated. I think when Dean hit him, he bent the rear control arm and put the rear wheel at a real bad angle. It's got some mad camber.
And watch
this. But Kavir hits the wall, I believe.
Kavir hits the wall. So Kavir, I thought James Dean was too aggressive. Kavir actually hits the wall, hits back into James Dean. And from where I'm sitting, it could be Kavir's fault.
I think Kavir just took himself into the 3rd and 4th place playoff.
Was his speed against Juha Rintanen.
Yeah.
Rintanen's fast. It's always Vincent. Dean's going to have to try and pull off one for the fans here. This is going to be a big old run. And compared to his qualifying yesterday, Dean looking very comfortable right now.
Unbelievably confident. Look at this. He's looking confident, comfortable. He's looking the whole host of everything that James Dean is and what we know of him. Look at the line from Dean. If he would have done this yesterday in the first qualifying run, I don't even think this would be the situation today. Look at this from James Dean as he pulls it across the line. That's a fast run.
There's no one beside him. He's going to the final. James Dean gets the win.
He needs to go through one of the best in the business. Kavir is going to want to take down Shanahan in an incredible way. Oh, and he's got a broken drive shaft. Kavir's got a broken drive shaft.
Yeah, you just see it 1 wheel spinning. That's all he's got.
He's got a broken drive shaft.
Shanahan now takes a victory lap of Riga. But look at this for a run. He can do no wrong here. It's 3rd on the podium for Conor Shanahan as he absolutely lights up the tyres on that GT86. He's driven incredibly well today. He's proven why he's in the top 3 of the championship. I reckon at this point he's 2nd in the championship. Still chasing down Peter Vjajcek and hoping his neighbour and mentor James Dean does a little damage against Vjajcek in the final. But Conor Shanahan waves to the fans, says, you know what, I've had a great day. It mightn't have worked out for Jack today, but one of the Shanahans made it work.
Looks up to the big screen and sees his name illuminate, and taking 3rd step on the podium will be Conor Shanahan.
Here we go.
Dean already creeping up the line. He knows the pace of Vincek. He had to try and get a head start. Now he jumps on the back bumper. They both initiate at the same time. Vincek hammers down. Dean goes to the inside to shortcut the circuit. Transitions at the same time. Dean goes for it. Looks for the inside. Looks for the door. And Vincek's S15. And Dean almost makes contact with Vincek as they transition back once again. Dean has the pace this time. Dean is with him. He's there. He's in the fight. He's on the door across the line.
Wow. Into gear they go, up to 140k. The best in the world are about to throw down in the final. Here we go.
Oh, look at this from James Dean. Big initiation. He fires it as wide as he can. Goes to the extremes edge of the circuit. Vincek makes a mistake. He wobbles. He can't handle the angle. As Dave said, he's there though. He comes through the smoke. He's on the door. He goes for the rear bumper. Absolutely unbelievable. Vincek's closer than Dean. He's pushing James Dean across the line.
Oh, forget about it. Forget about it. Stop it. Just turn drifting off. It's done. It's Peter Vjajcek. Vjajcek gets the win. He can barely believe it. In 1st position and the 2022 King of Riga. Can anybody stop him? Ever is my question now. Dean gave it everything. Put it all on the line, and I'm guaranteeing you, and the judges just had a little word with us while Becky was in the interview, it was close. But it was Peter Vjajcek, and look at the standings. Dean and Shanahan neck and neck in 2nd and 3rd, and still within striking distance of Peter Vjajcek, and so is Shanahan and Kavir. 5 drivers, 2 rounds, anything can happen. And our next event is Ferropolis in Germany. And of course, you know, it's Driftmasters, so we ain't going back to a normal race circuit. We're going to an abandoned mine on an island in Germany that they turned into a venue which looks like nothing else on Earth.